Hi, this is Adam Stofsky from Briefly. Welcome to the next video in Inland County's Legal Services Legal Information series. I'm here with Deliesha Brown. Hey, Deliesha, how are you?
I'm good, Adam. How are you?
Yeah, good. Deliesha is an expert in the law of government benefits, which is a very complicated and pretty interesting area of law. Today, we're going to talk about disability benefits and applying for disability benefits and the medical evidence you need to present to access benefits, right? So, disability benefits is about getting benefits to support you if you can't work because of a disability, right? You have to prove that you have something wrong with you. So, we're going to talk about how to do that. Did I frame that right, Alicia?
Absolutely.
Well, let's get going. So, first of all, maybe start with what benefits are we talking about here? Maybe start there.
Yes, great question. So, anything housed under the Social Security Administration that's disability related. So, not your early retirement insurance benefits or your retirement insurance benefits, not survivors benefits, depending on your age. We're talking about disability benefits where you are unable to work any longer. You're not full retirement age, and now you need income to support yourself because you can no longer work. So benefits related are applications related to those type of benefits.
Okay. So what kind of disabilities are we talking about here? Is this kind of long-term, fully debilitating disabilities where I can't work at all? Like what is the universe of the kinds of disabilities we're talking about?
Yes, so it would be disabilities that last or are expected to last 12 months or more or result in death, right? So an individual has a cancer and their prognosis is they're not going to survive longer than the next 6 months. Well, you're not penalized because it's only 6 months, even though the rule is 12 months. If it's going to result in death, unfortunately, they do lower that time frame for you.
Right. So with physical injuries, so for example, I had shoulder surgery last year and it was pretty serious, but it was about an 8 month recovery and I was really fully back in action after 8 months. So significant temporary disability would not qualify for these benefits.
Right. So in your case, your shoulder surgery, it wasn't expected to last longer than a year, or someone who, for example, gave birth, right? And they're going to be out of work for 6 weeks. They wouldn't qualify for this. That's what in the state of California, the Employment Development Department is for EDD. You apply for temporary disability because those benefits are expected to last less than 12 months for those disabilities.
Right, but things like serious injuries, like you said, cancer, terminal diagnoses, major mental health issues, those are what we're talking about here.
Right. Those that it's almost guaranteed that you're not going to return to work because of the severity. Maybe there's some new medical assistance down the road that could improve you to the point, but at this time, they don't expect that you will recover.
Right. Okay, so then what kind of medical evidence do you need to prove these disabilities, and what's the process for bringing forth that evidence?
Absolutely. Definitely need medical evidence, Social Security disability benefits, SSI, supplemental security income, Social Security disability insurance, SSDI. They the center of their determination on whether you're disabled or not is based on your medical evidence. If you do not have supporting medical evidence, it is almost guaranteed that you will be denied all the way up to the highest level of appeal. It is important that you have what we say at least 2 years of consistent, ongoing medical, unless your diagnosis, right, was shorter than that. If you were in a car accident and now you broke your legs, obviously you're not going to have 2 years of disability evidence. However, consistent and ongoing treatment is extremely important because we see it all the time that you will be denied if you don't have the evidence.
So, my first thought as you were saying this is like, why this shouldn't be complicated, right? I'm sure it is complicated because all these things are. But my first thought was, I mean, you know, you have severe spinal stenosis and you're going to go see a doctor and you're going to be treated for it and they're going to have in most cases won't you just have records from your doctor? Like where do the complexities come in? As if folks go untreated or if they have mental health issues where they haven't been treated. Are those or what are the areas where this becomes a real challenge?
A real challenge is those physical disabilities like your back, right? So you keep going, it's not getting better. You've done physical therapy, you went to a specialist, and they say you're not going to get better. And then you don't want to take the hardcore pain medications, right?
Or like serious
Right.
surgery, right? That's gonna yeah.
Right. So we see where people's like, well, I just stopped treating because it wasn't getting better. Um, but on the flip side of that is now we don't have current medical evidence showing that you continue to remain disabled and your condition has not improved. Another one would be mental health. Individuals who have severe mental health conditions, whether they're taking their medication or not seeking ongoing treatment, right? Because part of that is getting therapy treatment to see, giving you coping skills, and they want to see whether that's working and improving. Um, as, and with mental health, they change the medication a lot. So they may give you this medication to see if it alleviates it, or and then they'll change. So they want to see whether this treatment is working or not.
So in general, you want to have a you think for best likelihood of success in getting these benefits is about 2 years of a kind of paper trail or 2 years worth of evidence of medical exams and treatments and things like that. Is that generally a good guideline?
Well, generally, we request the last 2 years because we want to see what has been ebbing and flowing, right? But if you say you're a 22-year-old and you just started getting auditory hallucinations, which that's a lot of times it happens around that age, right? You're not going to have 2 years because it
Right.
just. But if you can show us that you've been going maybe the last 3 to 4 months, right? And you started some type of treatment plan, we can review those records and help you get going.
Oh,
But if
interesting. So
this is a
even if your disability has emerged recently.
right, right. Showing 3 to 4 months or 3 to 4 appointments rather would be the better assessment, or better time frame, just so that we could see, because by then your psychiatrist or your primary care physician will have time to assess maybe what the issue is and transfer you or refer you over to some sort of specialist if needed.
So the worst case scenario from the standpoint of applying for disability benefits is if there's never not any paper trail at all. So let's say I develop really crippling depression and I just can't get myself to work. This goes on for 6 months and I just have whatever, I've lost my job and then I never really get treatment and I just go then say I got to apply for benefits I can't work. And
Right.
that's sort of your worst case scenario from the standpoint. You have no record at all, right?
Right. That's the worst case scenario. If we were to have that client come through the door, we would recommend them to seek treatment as soon as possible and come back to us about 3 to 4 appointments so that we'll have some type of consistent medical evidence to review to see how severe it is.
So, in general, the strategy here for anyone who has a disability, thinks they might want to apply or might unfortunately need these benefits is to really consistently engage with their healthcare providers and make sure they're trying new treatments and creating that record to show that this disability is not improving or is getting worse. Is that a good summary?
Absolutely. And what we also recommend is letting all your treatment providers know that you plan on applying for disability benefits and ask them to ensure that your diagnosis is clear in your medical records, what your symptoms are, and your limitations. What can you do? What can't you do, considering the limitations that you have as a result of your disabilities?
I think those are all my questions. Delisha, am I missing anything? Have we covered all the most important issues here?
Absolutely. I just want to sum it up for everyone is medical evidence is extremely important. No one will be found disabled unless they're of a particular age, right? The retirement age, without having consistent ongoing medical care. So if you believe that you're disabled to the point where you can no longer work, please seek treatment. We highly recommend it. And then reach out to us, and we'd be happy to provide you guidance, education, potentially review your medical records to see whether you're ready to apply for disability benefit.
That's great. Well, Deliesha, thank you so much. Really appreciate this conversation.
You're welcome. Have a good day.